closing event to celebrate International Women's Day in North and East Syria took place in Qamishlo on 9th of March as a festival took place to mark the conclusion of 10 days of events and activities. Attendees heard from Asya Abdullah, a member of the Women's Coordination Committee for North and East Syria. AANES follows the teachings of imprisoned Kurdish leader Abdullah Öcalan, who places an especial focus on liberating women and establishing autonomous women's political organization. As such, the region has held a major series of events across Kurdish and Arab cities to mark the International Women's Day, ranging from a full day of cultural celebrations and military parades on 8th of March itself to lectures from men on patriarchy and society, women's poetry competitions, and children outreach and educational events. Ms. Abdullah went on to highlight the major challenges faced by women in the region due to the Turkish military occupation of large swathes of North and East Syria and concomitant assault on women's rights and autonomy. The festival also heard from Arab and Christian women's leaders who highlighted the importance of diversity and coexistence within the women's struggle. Plans have been announced for Newroz or Kurdish New Year celebrations in the Qandil region of Kurdistan. Newroz is celebrated across Kurdistan and elsewhere in the Middle East, but the celebration in Qandil takes on a special significance. Qandil is a traditional stronghold of the Kurdistan Workers' Party or PKK, and the celebrations in the mountainous region also constitute a commemoration of the ongoing struggle for Kurdish rights and autonomy spearheaded by the militant group.
کاتی ئازادیە جەژنی نەورۆزی سەرکەوتن و ساڵی نوێی کوردی لە گەلی کورد و هەموو گەلانی ئازادی خواست پیرۆز دەکەین. گەلی هۆشیار و ئازادی خوازی کوردستان ڕاستیەکی عاشە هەڵنەگرە ئاگری نەمرۆز لە ڕۆژی لە مێژووی کورداندا وەکو هێمای سەرکەوتن لە بەرامبەر زوعا کەستەمکارەکان هەڵکراوە و
The Newroz fire will be lit at Qandil mountain under the slogan, "Now is the time for freedom," the preparatory committee announced in a reference to the campaign to free imprisoned Kurdish political leader and PKK head Abdullah Öcalan. The flame refers to the Kurdish legend and folk hero about Kawa the blacksmith, who lit a fire in his forge as a symbol to an oppressed people to rise up against an evil king. In their statement, the Qandil Newroz Preparatory Committee said that the spirit was continued today in the hands of what they termed the revolutionary descendants of Kawa. Newroz will be celebrated in the region on 21st of March alongside other events across the region. The campaign to collect signatures in support of an international initiative to delist the Kurdish Workers' Party as a terrorist organization has concluded in Deir-Ez-Zor, North and East Syria. 3,744 signatures were collected in the town. The co-chair of the local branch of the Democratic Union Party, Mohammed Khalif, said in a statement before the party offices.
جیهانه به تایبت ایروجاتا ناوین و کردستانه پروژه نتوا دموکراتیک فلسفه ریبر آپو و اف پزگریک چاره سر ببین.
Turkey benefits from the PKK being de facto included on terror lists across the West, though no European court has ever found that PKK should be included on the domestic terror list. Critics say that PKK is only included on terror lists at Turkey's behest, to stifle legitimate debate or any attempt toward a resolution of the crisis in Turkey. Outreach efforts are expected to continue in AANES and elsewhere, as campaigners aim to collect millions of signatures across the globe.
و آزادیا ریبر آپو چارەسەریە.
A terrorist of unknown affiliation has died in North and East Syria when the mine he was attempting to plant on a rural road exploded. The LB assassin lost his life in the explosion on 10th of March on the road from Hezek village toward the Kyrgyzstan mountain in rural Hasakah. The local security forces found a bomb-laden motorcycle belonging to the same individual, which was safely destroyed. No injuries to civilians or local security forces were reported. The nearby city of Hasakah saw a major ISIS breakout in January 2022, with hundreds killed as the terror organization attempted to break thousands of its members out of jail. An unknown but significant number were able to escape into the surrounding countryside, where operations to mop up ISIS remnants continue. American linguist Noam Chomsky called for the freedom of Kurdish musician Nudem, who has been in prison for 7 years in Turkey. The punishment given to her is grave injustice. She made a dignified, non-violent effort with her art to support the long struggle of the Kurdish people. Nudem shouldn't be punished, but should be honored, Chomsky said. Kurdish singer Nudem, who has been in Bayburt prison since 2015 and sentenced to 19 years for the Kurdish song she performed during the Newroz festival. American linguist Noam Chomsky shared a solidarity message with Nudem and called for her release. It would be very welcome news if the case of Nudem was reopened. Her sentencing was a gross miscarriage of justice. She had been engaged in an honorable non-violent endeavor through her arts to support the long struggle of the Kurdish people for recognition of their rights and their just demands. She should be honored for her dedicated and courage work, not punished. I hope and trust that she will be freed and permitted, in fact, encouraged to go on with her work and life. Shehrazad Al-Qazim, an executive board member of the Zenubiyya women's community in North and East Syria, said that the autonomous administration is the solution address of the Syrian crisis. Deir-Ez-Zor, 4 years after the Syrian Democratic Forces liberated the city of Hajin from ISIS, local institutions and committees began to organize and be active in the city. The autonomous administration took steps to build a legal and safe life. Many works were carried out in many areas, such as in education and rebuilding of houses. Shehrazad Al-Qazim, an executive board member of the Zenubiyya women's community in North and East Syria, told us that the Autonomous Administration project is a successful project. The Autonomous Administration had proven its success after a long-lasting struggle and a 10-year crisis. It has proven its success by ensuring security and peace in the region and developing economic projects for the people of the region to achieve their economic independence, Shehrazad Al-Qazim said, emphasizing that the Autonomous Administration is the solution address of the Syrian crisis. Shehrazad Al-Qazim continued to talk as follows. It represents the will of the people. It supports all people in the region. It protects their rights. It strengthens the role of women in society. The Autonomous Administration project, which is the only solution to the crisis faced by people. We should unite to end terrorism. As women, men, young people, old people, children, we will keep standing by the Democratic Nation project. A public park has been opened in Shedadi, North and East Syria, in a project carried out by the local devolved municipality with international support. 250 trees have been planted in the garden along with chairs and light posts in a project supported by the international NGO Save the Children. It is the first park to be opened in Shedadi, an Arab town which was under the control of ISIS and has suffered a continued insurgency from the terror group in the years following its liberation by the Syrian Democratic Forces. Ahmed Saud, a member of the coordination committee of the local environmental department, called on people of the locality to respect the new installation, which he described as having been put in place in order to develop the local area. The 5,000 square meter site took 3 months to redevelop, he said, while a new well was also dug to facilitate the project. The project would also provide jobs in the impoverished region, with employees maintaining the park during the day and a caretaker to guard it by night, Mr. Saud said. "6,000 trees are being planted in Hasakah, North and East Syria, as part of a women's environmental campaign which aims to plant 4 million trees across the autonomous regions. The Green Braids is a women-led initiative which began a year ago in Qamishlo. In the latest phase of the ambitious program, new tree gardens are being constructed in Hasakah, in a campaign which began on 10th of March and is scheduled to last for a week. Students and members of the Hezek Education Board also participated in the campaign, planting seeds and shoots in the garden in the Misharif neighborhood of Hasakah. The Hasakah program began in 2021 in a single field, said Shirin Ibrahim, one of the project leaders. Work was done on collecting seeds from nature, and now, with the coming of spring, trees are being planted. Teachers, students, members of the intellectual union, local council, communes, and all sections of society are involved. Ecology is one of 3 pillars of the political program being applied by the autonomous administration of North and East Syria, following the teachings of imprisoned Kurdish leader Abdullah Öcalan. Alongside direct democracy and women's liberation, there is a particular focus on establishing a more positive and holistic relation to nature. But years of neglect, politically motivated resource draining, and the imposition of a weed monoculture by the Assad regime had badly affected the local ecological situation.